Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a really quick video on pruning seedlings and kind of go over how and why you would want to prune seedlings. So here I have an entire flat of basils that I'm going to be showing you this process on. I have all sorts of basils here, lemon, Genovese, and Thai, and this process is going to be the same for all of them. I will preface this by saying that a lot of what I'm going to show you today are plants that I'm growing for cut flowers. The rules for pruning do differ for vegetables. Not all of them need to be pruned in this way, and the ones that do might need to be pruned at a later stage or for different reasons. Although the same rules would apply for basil that you're growing just for herbs, even though I'm growing these for cut flowers. So first I'll walk you through quickly how you would prune your seedlings. This is also known as pinching, and what you would do is at the first or second set of true leaves, you're going to cut or pinch off the top of your seedling. For most of my seedlings that I'll be doing today, I'm going to go above the first set of leaves, but if the first set of leaves looks kind of weak, then I'm going to go above the second set of leaves, and you want to go right above where those two leaves branch off. And if you look closely, you can see in most of these little armpit sections, you can actually see two new sets of baby leaves that want to grow out from there. So once you cut off the tops of these plants, they're going to start branching off and create two new stems where there was once one stem. And this kind of jumps into why you would want to prune seedlings, and it's to create a stronger and bushier plant. And for some certain varieties, this can create a plant that is more productive and give you more food or flowers depending on what kind of plant you're growing. So here's an even better close-up of what I was showing you earlier. This is my Genovese basil, and you can see here when I go up along this stem, I can see this little armpit area where new baby leaves are forming, and I'll just snip right above that, and this plant is going to grow two new stems from that area and create a much bushier plant. And one of the main reasons you would want a bushier plant is so that your plant will be a lot stronger. It's kind of like if you had a really tall tower versus a pyramid. The pyramid has a much wider base, so it's going to have a better structure overall and be stronger. So the same goes for these plants. Instead of having that one stem hold up this long skinny plant, we're going to have a very solid base with lots of stems at the bottom of our plants. Not all plants and flowers should be pinched this way. There are certain varieties that really benefit from this, so some of the ones I'll mention quickly are Basils, Dahlias, Snapdragons, Cosmos, Zinnias, Amaranth, and branching sunflowers, but there are definitely some that you should not pinch. Some of those are single stem sunflowers or single stem celosias, because if you pinch that single stem, that's basically all the plant is going to produce, and you just cut off that entire harvest and it's not going to grow more stems from there. So before you go pruning or pinching anything, just give it a quick Google and you can usually figure out whether or not pinching is good for that plant. So here's what my flat looks like when I'm all done pinching, and it looks a little sad right now because there's less than what we started with, but I promise you it's going to grow to be better than before. I'm going to save all these little scraps that I pruned off because this is just regular basil and I can eat this for dinner, so nothing goes to waste here. Now I wanted to show you some examples of seedlings that I've already pinched previously. So here are some dahlias that I'm growing from seed, and if you look closely here, you can see where I've cut that stem probably a few weeks ago, and from that point those two new stems are growing really nice and strong, and this plant is looking really healthy. And from that one cut, we've at least doubled the yield that we're going to get out of this plant. Here's another example, and this is a Snapdragon seedling. And after I've pinched this plant, not only has it put on those two new shoots from where I cut it, but basically pinching the plant gives it a signal that it needs to send a lot of new stems out, so it's put on growth even from the base of the plant. And here's a side-by-side comparison with a Snapdragon seedling that has not been pinched yet, and you can see how this is just a really long and skinny seedling, and if it keeps growing with just this one stem, it can easily topple over if there's a wind or a rainstorm. And you can tell how the one that I've pinched earlier is a lot bushier. So I'm just going to go ahead and pinch this one now since it's about the right time. It has 3 or 4 sets of true leaves, and then this one can eventually bush out just like the one I showed you earlier. So that about covers it for this video. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.